Good morning. I am Acting Captain Heather Buren with the San Francisco Fire Department, and I want to give you a really brief background of my involvement with the Women Firefighter Biomonitoring Collaborative. And it will be brief, I promise. I know about 2012, many of my firefighter friends and colleagues started calling me and coming to me. We just had a rash of breast cancer within our ranks. Breast cancer in women that were premenopausal, so in our 40s, and it caused a lot of concern. And Jessica Trowbridge just gave you a whole overview of the Women Firefighter Biomonitoring Collaborative. I'm just going to call it the WFBC for ease here. And but my involvement in that really came from a place of my community. It came from a concern for my health and the health of my women firefighter friends and colleagues. And I'm not here to talk to you about that today necessarily, but I am going to be talking about a report back. But you know, there was something that happened even before my involvement that really informed me in a way I didn't understand. And I want to give you a brief story. Firefighters, we like to tell stories, and so I'm going to start you off with this brief story. This was in probably 2011, 2010, end of 2010, beginning of 2011. I was asked by one of my firefighter friends if I wanted to join him on how he told me about it was, we did a study, and they actually had done a post-fire analysis study. It was a totally different study than ours. It was just a one-shot deal where they took biospecimens from them after a fire, and they then were getting results back. And he said, hey, I'm going to this results. The scientist is going to talk to us. Do you want to come with me? And I said, yeah, well, I'll come with you. So I came and sat, and it was about an hour presentation where scientists talked to us. Didn't understand much of anything that was being said, and then at the end passed out one sheet of my friend's results of this report back, and we looked down at it. There were all these, didn't really understand. There was, you know, big words, big chemicals. We weren't explained. Showed a chart, didn't understand that, and that report back was over. And the scientist said, "Thank you for your help and." Being part of this. And as we were walking out, my friend, you know, took that piece of paper, he crumpled it up, and he just tossed it into the trash. And, you know, as we left that room, it really left a sour impression on me. Didn't understand what we were being told. He was a part of this study. And, you know, really, how would the results help the participants if we didn't understand the language that was being spoken to us? We didn't understand the language about what these numbers meant, and we didn't really learn anything about our exposures. I wasn't a part of that study, my friend was, but let's now jump to the WFBC 2 years later. And it wouldn't be until then that I found, when I became involved with the WFBC, that early experience, like I said, it really informed me. And as we discussed and developed the study protocols, WFBC, I voiced my concern to the scientist I was working at. And I am really excited and proud today to walk you through my own results. This is flame retardant results, because I was helping with the study, but I was also a participant. And so these are my own results using a tool researchers at Silent Springs developed called Digital Exposure Report Back Interface. Throughout this, you'll hear me refer to this as Derby, much easier. And so this interactive web-based tool, it really takes those compact chemical exposure data, and it presents it in a way that I or other study participants can understand the results, while also lending opportunity to learn more about the chemicals. And each report, and we're going to dive into my own report, but each report is personalized. It includes a summary of the results, what the chemicals were found, what health concerns they may raise, what actions people can take to protect their health, as well as kind of explaining the study's overall findings. By clicking on different parts of the report, you'll be able to delve deeper into different results. It also allows us users to compare our results. Like we always like to kind of, where are we at in this? We can compare our results with other participants and whether their chemical exposures were higher or lower. But let me stop talking about what it can do, and let's just hop in. And I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to share my results. Okay, here we go. And we're just I'm gonna walk you through a little bit. So you come to this landing page, I call it. And this is a summary of the results. If you look over here on the side, on any of these, you will see it'll always bring you back on this left-hand side to this home page at any time you want. This is the results of the summary. A lot of people, some like me, they want to jump right in. And it will tell me right in the beginning here, your sample had one of the highest level of flame retardants in this study. So I go, oh no, what does that mean? The highest level. So this page also over here you see the overall study results, but it's very intuitive. And it's kind of like, okay, if I see that, I can click on a flame retardant and it is going to bring me there. I can also do it on the other side, but I'm going to say, I see this, your sample had one of the highest levels. I don't like that. I'm going to look at it and say, what does that mean? I click on there and it brings me right to my results page. And my results page, you can start to scroll down. So if I want to find out, click here to jump to your results. So that concerned me a little bit. I had high results. How can I click right here? So I can hit that and it will click me right down. But before I do, I want to just show you some other things going on here. Common questions. So at any time, I can come back to some of these common questions. Was my cancer caused by these chemical exposures? Any questions that I might have as I'm trying to process my results. If we go over to the left-hand side, you can look at other things. Where do these chemicals come from? I don't care about that right now. I want to jump right to my results. And then that does that. Before it shows me, this is important, but it gives you a graph legend. You always want to understand, who am I? So I'm this big orange circle here. And so I'm going to go down and look at first here. So I'm this big orange circle. This is the chemical that I'm exposed to. Don't even ask me to try to pronounce that because I won't be able to, but BDCPP, I can say. And something also to note as I am scrolling through this, if I roll over something, I see this little American flag. Well, what does that mean? Well, I roll over it and it pops up. It tells me what that means. About half of adult women in the US have less than this than me on there. That's amazing to me, right? So it gives me really what's happening up here in my my legend. It tells me what's going on. I can also roll over the median. So I can roll down. These are all of my results. I don't like to say it, but here I'm high in a lot of these, which is, you heard from Jessica Trowbridge that firefighters did have higher results in many of these. So many results. And so that goes right to my results. So now once I've looked at those numbers, I see kind of where I lay, then I can start to look with other things that might be really important to me. The overall study results, these, I want you to know, I'm back over here on the left-hand side. These are flame retardants. We also had PFAS chemical results. We won't go through, but I could click on that and see mine. The overall study results, we can jump to that. That's very interesting because it just, in each one of these, if I hit on firefighters at a higher level, this is what Jess went over with you. You can go through any of these and click on it, it will give you more information. We'll just do one, right? Firefighters high level. And that brings me right to this graph that shows me the aggregate results of the whole study. And now we're not just on my own results. I've now left that. So if I want to, so that's the overall, you can go through the methods if I want to understand how this study, how we took the samples. You can go down table of results. You can print this at any point. I think it's interesting, this table of your results leads me here where I could print that out and bring it to my doctor if I was interested. But it's just, I keep saying you can delve in at any point and get deeper into that. And as we kind of continue down here, I wanted to, as I said, you can print report, you could sign out anytime, you can go back to home. But I wanted to just end today with this reducing exposure. So it really tells me on a personal level, on a work at the fire station, just best practices for that during and after a fire incident. And then I'm just going to end with through a collective action. You know, you're asking your union about advocacy, making sure we all voted. But really, you know, what's important about that is what is that next step? So we're giving people an option to take more steps. And I am going to, it's a perfect time, the next presentation is by Nancy Brumeyer. She's our policy wizard at Breast Cancer Prevention Partners. And she'll be discussing removing toxic PFAS chemicals from firefighter foam in the US, a legislative update. Thank you so much for your time.